What's up, you guys? And welcome back to my channel. I'm in rare form today, no makeup, and my hair's a little bit crazy. That's okay. I'm actually getting ready to get ready to leave the house in a minute. But also here's something. That's my heater. It's freezing here. So yeah. Anyway, as a lot of you guys that have been watching my videos know, and for those of you that don't know, this week marks 4 years that, or 4 years since I've had my Spinal Fusion surgery. I had it February 26th of 2018, which is crazy. I think that's been 4 years already. Doesn't even feel like it. But, yeah. So, I have a couple things coming out this week. Some of them might be out a little late. It was raining and it's supposed to snow tomorrow and possibly Friday, so I'm a little sore and very tired. So that stuff might come out a little later. Next week I'm going to take a break because filming and editing the Valentine's Day stuff will wear me out. Next week I might take a break, take a week off from filming anything new, but I have some previously filmed stuff that I might go ahead and edit and post for you guys, so I filmed some of that stuff a couple weeks ago, so yeah, so I have 3 things coming out this week. 2 are coming out, well, one's coming out today, hopefully. The other one's coming out on Friday, and the other one will be out Saturday, so very exciting. But today's video is just me telling you guys what life's been like since my spinal fusion surgery, and also answering a lot of questions that I get asked, because some of you guys have reached out to me and asked me questions about the surgery itself and things, because there are some of you, as I knew before I mentioned surgery, that we're going to have it, we knew somebody was going to have it, so I got asked a couple questions. I get asked questions all the time by, random people or by, other family members that don't know about that, and, some of my friends would ask me questions, so I'm just going to be can't even talk. I'm just going to be answering the questions I get asked the most. I think I have 14 questions. I get asked a lot of questions, and I get asked a lot of these questions multiple times. So, I want to help you guys out, and, I'm not one to oppose answering questions, so, obviously, or else I wouldn't be making this video, but, yeah, I'm just going to answer some of you guys' questions. Okay. So let me get my little book here. I have all the questions down. So the first question I get asked, especially for people that are a little bit more nervous about the surgery, does it hurt? I'm not going to lie to you. It's going to hurt. Okay. Any type of surgery you have is going to hurt. Of course, they give you anesthesia and all that stuff. I was on morphine. So, and they gave me a lot of morphine. And of course you're not going to feel it during surgery, but afterwards, when it starts to wear off, for me at least, there's this tightening, this really hard, somebody had just took your spine with the metal on there and just squeezed as hard as they could. And, God, my back hurt. And that's what I felt like when I first woke up from surgery. I remember I was just I kept asking, did I have a surgery? Are you sure? Because I didn't feel anything. Not to mention I was also loopy from the anesthesia and the meds. So I was just I don't feel anything. Am I sure? Sure it's over? I don't know. It was weird. Okay. So, but then, of course, because I felt like I should have been in pain, but I didn't feel anything. And then once it wore off, that's when I felt it, and I was like, oh my god. It was awful. Not to mention, me and the nurse were like tussling. Not like full on, but like, I'm little. And I have little veins and little hands. So if you can look at my hand, see how tiny I am. Little hands, see my veins. So they were trying to put the morphine through the IV that was in my hand. It was hurting me for them to keep shooting the medicine in there. So they're like, you need to press the morphine button. You have a fever. Like, it's just going to get worse if you don't take any pain medicine. And I'm like, you're killing my hand. Why would I want you to keep shooting that through my hand? Why can't you shoot it through somewhere else? You could put the IV in here. I mean, eventually they did, but I was like, I don't want that in my hand. So the nurse was like literally trying to force me to press the little morphine button. I didn't want to. So, yeah. And eventually she kind of gave up. It was terribly difficult. My hand hurt. And my hands were, well, mostly this hand, was sore for a month and a half after the surgery. Because for the first 4 weeks was when you would be in the most pain. And after that, it's just adjusting. So I was in pain. My hand was sore. I had to sign stuff, and my hand was just killing me because it's my dominant hand. So, but yeah, it hurts enough for you to have to take narcotics. I had to take 2 other narcotics once I got out of the hospital. I was in the hospital for a week. Yeah, the other thing I get asked I didn't write down is like, what was it like after surgery? Painful. You're exhausted. I had SIRS, which I'll put here, which is System Inflammatory Response Syndrome. So basically, as I explained it to me, was your body seeing the metal. It's kind of like when you have allergies. And, it's not just a regular cold. Like, so you inhaled something or something went up your nose, like pollen or something, and your body sees it as a foreign invader. And it starts attacking what it thinks might be a germ, but it's not really a germ. But it's not really attacking it, it's attacking itself. So for me, having that major surgery, my body was attacking itself, trying to get the metal out, because, what you do wasn't going to go anywhere. So my body was attacking itself. They warned me when I was in the hospital, like, you're going to want to rip your metal out. Everybody that we've done this surgery for wants to rip it out. And I was no different. I wanted to literally rip it out. Exhausted. I had a weird cough for the first week and a half. But that's because they had the tube sent down my throat. I was in the hospital right after surgery, especially since I was just really sick. They usually put you in ICU to monitor your heart rate and all that stuff. My heart rate and my lungs were just out of control because they're used to my ribs turning in, crushing them. So once they took the pressure off, because they also have to break your spine in order to put the rods in there because, it's stiff. You can't put the rods in there and it's just stiff. One won't go through, and if it does, you could damage something. So they literally have to break your spine and then lean it up to get it as straight as they possibly can, and then drill the rods, screws, and pins through your spine. That was the whole thing. We also had to change I didn't have stitches. I had dissolvable ones. So, and we have these little, I forget what they call them, they're like little strips. They're kind of like these gigantic band-aids. And we had to change those on my back. I had a drainage tube. They took that out before I left the hospital though. And then, so I had oxygen too while I was in the hospital because after surgery I wasn't really breathing on my own. They actually almost lost me during surgery. because after I took the pressure off my heart and my lungs, it just started beating out of control like what we're supposed to do. I don't understand this. This is weird. This is new. How am I going to adjust? And I just started, my heart started beating out of control, started pushing all this blood to everything, including my lungs, and they were trying to stabilize me during. I could hear them. I wasn't fully aware of what was going on because I was under anesthetic and a lot of pain medication, but I did hear them say, like, really, we're losing her, we gotta get her back, like, we need to stabilize her, things are going crazy, you know. So, they were finally able to stabilize me. I lost a lot of blood, which is normal for the surgery. And I had to have 2 blood transfusions in the hospital. I passed out, actually, once or twice. I think it was once. I passed out. They had to bring me back. They got the blood in there in time, and I came back. So the second time I almost lost me. And then I had to get another blood transfusion because I was absolutely freezing. It was bad. So, anyway, I was on oxygen in the hospital because I wasn't breathing on my own properly after. And then, once I was able to go home from the hospital, well, actually, while I was in the hospital, I had this little thing. I wish I had it right with me right now, but I don't. I think it's across the room. But there's this little thing, I'm going to insert a picture of it here, that you kind of use. You put your mouth on this mouthpiece and you blow into it, and it's supposed to check your air pressure. So I think I had to get up to like 10 or 15 in order to have the oxygen taken out of my nose. I hated that. So yeah. And I had to use that at home for the first 4 weeks because I wasn't going outside. So they're like, you have to use this for the first couple weeks. And I did. And after the first couple weeks, I started going outside, going on walks. I still really couldn't do much, at least until I think that June. But even then, like, I had to clear to like start exercising again or dancing again or anything until that September. And I had just gone back to school. I took the semester off. I think you guys that watched my surgery videos and stuff, you knew that. For those of you guys that didn't know, I took a semester off school. I was in college for the surgery. I wanted to give myself all the time I needed to rest and like recuperate and all that stuff. So some people go to school like 3 months after, or no, after the first 4 weeks. I didn't feel comfortable. I didn't want to get bummed, and I also didn't want to wear my back brace to school. I went through that in middle school, and did not want to go back to that. So yeah, I had to make sure I walked around my house every day because I could have gotten blood clots and those could have killed me. I was allowed to sit down for more than 30 minutes at a time. I could lay down for as long as I wanted. Couldn't sit down for longer than 30 minutes at a time because you can get blood clots. It was also extremely painful to do that. I did it one time by accident, and worst pain ever. So didn't do it again after that. Made sure I did. I would sit for like at least 15 minutes and then lay down. And, So, yeah, it was rough after surgery. I couldn't bend forward. I couldn't, bend down at all to reach anything. I had to use a gripper. Didn't think I would need one at first. I'm like, I'll be fine. Saved my life. I still use it to this day. Like, if I have to reach for something, I don't feel like doing it, or it's too far away for me to reach without hurting myself, I'll get my gripper, pick it up. It's fine. Or I use my feet. I had to learn to use my feet to get certain things until I got the gripper, because it took a little bit for it to get here when I ordered it. So yeah, I still do that occasionally to this day. So, okay, so my nose is itchy. I'm so sorry. How long was the surgery? So, how long was my surgery? I think, if I remember correctly, it was either 6 or 8 hours long. Because again, they have to open you up, break your spine, and drill. I heard the drill while I was, under anesthesia. which would have completely freaked me out if I was not under anesthesia. But I heard the drill. I can kind of feel my body moving a little bit with it. It's weird because I can still hear the drill to this day. It's been 4 years. So, for the risk before and after. So, the risk before the surgery, I was always told about the risks. Blood loss, infection, the metal malfunctioning, stuff not fusing properly, having to get, another or multiple, other surgeries afterwards. The biggest thing that they always told me about was paralyzation. Because, they could pinch a nerve or a bunch of different nerves, and they could, cause severe nerve damage and cause paralyzation. Thankfully, though, because that was the one thing I was the most worried about. I was like, do I really want to be in the wheelchair for the rest of my life? But then, had I not done the surgery, as a lot of you guys that, watched the other spine videos I made know, I would have died if I didn't get spine surgery. So, it would have been like, so. But, yeah, I would have been paralyzed had anything gone wrong. That was the one thing that they mentioned to me very beginning. Thankfully it didn't happen, of course, but very well could have. But they made sure it was super safe, because in the past, when they've done the spine surgery, it wasn't always the safest, and paralyzation happened a lot. It doesn't happen as often now, but it still happens. I know there's damage to, your organs. I had already had some issues with that before the surgery, and it didn't really end after, because they were like, whatever, issues that your scoliosis caused before you have the surgery, they're going to be with you pretty much the rest of your life. There's no getting out of that. And because of the surgery, you might have new issues arise. So, as far as after surgery, arthritis was a big thing they told me. Well, my doctor told me. I have that. I had already had some issues with that, like I said before surgery. Just got way worse. So, occasionally, only when it rains, or, snows. Whenever the pressure changes in the air, that's what kind of kicks it off. Everything swells up. As a lot of you guys know, if you've watched my Valentine's Day video from earlier this month, not even earlier this month, like a week or 2 weeks ago, I mentioned that it flared up while I was in Naperville with Isaiah because it snowed well up there. It only snowed a little bit, but it was enough to change the pressure in the air and kick it off, and it was in my chest. Which, my chest is doing a lot better now. It's still a little bit puffed out, swollen, still tender, but it's been like 2 weeks. But it's not as bad as it was because I've been taking meds for it. I have strong meds. I have my, normal meds. But when it's really bad, they were like, whenever I've gone to the doctor about it, they were like, just, you have the stronger meds. You don't like taking them. You don't like taking them a whole lot or super often. So it's fine if you take them every once in a while when it's that bad to reduce the inflammation and get back to, what you were doing and stuff. So that's what I do. I don't like a whole lot of pills. When I first got diagnosed with scoliosis, they were like, well, for pain, you can take Tylenol, Motrin, weed, whatever. Whenever I went to the doctor with, super severe pain, like fever and all that, they were just like, I just take some medicine, I'll just take fever reducer, you'll be fine. I got so tired of taking pain medication, it was ridiculous. So I don't like taking it. But if I absolutely have to, I do. The risks of different kinds of more severe arthritis, if you already have arthritis, there's, let's see. If your scoliosis was severe and your organs were kind of shifted to one side, which mine were, shifting them back can cause damage. I got diagnosed with tachycardia, which is just a super fast heartbeat, but my scoliosis caused that. My heart, especially since, right before, well, not right before, but like a couple years before the surgery, it got really, really bad. And like I was exhausted, super lethargic, just couldn't go out with my friends as much as I wanted to, and just in pain all day, every day, nonstop. Whether I took pain medicine or not, it never went away. And I started having digestive problems and like, of course, the lung issue I just told you guys about. And, stuff just started kind of, plummeting, falling apart, not functioning properly. And my heart was like, okay, I know that stuff's kind of dire. I could feel myself kind of slipping away from here. And my heart was like, we gotta pump so much blood to keep this girl alive. So my heartbeat, I always noticed, was irregular. So, my heart rate was, every time I go to the doctor, well, it's a little bit more normal now, since it's 4 years into the surgery, just about. But every time I go to the doctor in the past, they'd be like, your heart rate is a little bit too high. It's because my heart felt like I had to keep just pushing all this blood to keep me alive, and that's another reason why I was absolutely exhausted. Another thing you can have with scoliosis is chronic fatigue. That's one of the very first things I noticed before I got diagnosed with scoliosis. I was absolutely exhausted, and I didn't even have to do anything to be exhausted. So, and I still have that issue. That, again, anything that was caused by my spine curve progression before the surgery, I'm still going to have it after. So it's just not as bad. But, and then sometimes it'll flare up to where it is bad, and that sucks. But at the same time, not much I can do about that. Other than, occasionally drink coffee, even though coffee is a disgusting thing. But I also learned that helps with inflammation too, and it kind of helps if I drink it in the morning or at some point during the day, as long as I only drink 1 cup a day. Any more than that, coffee can actually cause more inflammation, so. But yeah, that's kind of most of the risks after surgery. And there's, blood clots. I'm not at risk for blood clots anymore. That's just a first couple weeks type of thing. But yeah, that's pretty much, that. So yeah, because I get, like, I don't know, because I started noticing more digestive issues after surgery. I noticed them before, but I notice them more now, especially when it rains or when it snows, like, because scoliosis can cause an issue on its own. I also have a family history of that stuff, so double whammy. And it's bad. Like, I'll get super nauseous out of nowhere. When I was first diagnosed with scoliosis, like, I would, especially because I had a back brace on, I'd wear it every day, all night. It would squeeze life out of me. I would throw up all the time. Another question I get asked is, will I be able to have children? I get asked that question so much. Not that it's a bad thing, but I get asked that question a lot. And I wanted to address it. Obviously. So, as far as I know, my doctor said that I should be fine to have children. That wouldn't cause any extra pressure on my spine or anything like that. Although, when you're pregnant, a lot of times women get, lower back pain, and my lower, lumbar part of my spine is where the middle is, where the surgery was. So, even if I was told I can still have kids, that concerns me. But then he also told me, you have other health issues because of your scoliosis that could worsen with that. So then you have to talk to, you know, and you have to talk to whoever would be, you know, whoever you need to talk to about that when if you decide to have kids. Like you have to talk to your, you know, doctor about that. So for me, and then also knowing the anatomy of, you know, that, because a lot of your stuff gets pushed up into here, which is why a lot of women have like lung issues and stuff, trouble breathing, all that stuff. I would be nervous for that stuff to get pushed up here. Already still, like everything in my lower, where my lower part of my spine is, like my stomach, my kidneys, stuff like that, is still curved over this way to left. So I don't want anything to happen to where like it ripped or anything like that, which can happen. So, and you know, when I was younger, I always said I wanted kids, but I never wanted to be pregnant. You know, never something I wanted. And you know, even though I'm told I still have kids, there's still issues that can come up, and I don't want to make anything else worse. So solidifies the fact that I will not personally give birth to anything. I would rather do surrogacy or adopt, if I could. So, yeah. What, can I get pregnant? Yes. I can still have kids. Do I want to be pregnant? No.